Revenge films.
This is about a story at my youngest sister's wedding. My husband and I were supposed to go with my parents, but my father refused to go as he did not approve of his youngest daughter getting married. Of course, my mother and I said to him, "What do you mean? The wedding is today." "Yeah, Dad. You don't want to be late, do you? It will be an embarrassment if her parents don't show up. Go get ready." But my father was being persistent and didn't move. We had no choice, so my mother says, "You guys go ahead. We will take a cab there to make it on time." So without much choice, my husband and I head to the wedding venue. When we get there, I let my husband rest in the room while I went to look for my sister and the groom. I then heard voices from the groom and bride's rooms. I said, "I'm coming in," after knocking. I go in, not seeing my sister anywhere, but to find the groom with a random woman on his lap. A second after encountering this, my reflex was to get a photo as proof. The two of them froze as they heard me accidentally hold the shutter button for too long. Thanks to them panicking, I was able to take multiple shots of them together. I quickly shut the door behind me, but I was completely in panic mode. I have to tell my sister. No, but she will faint out of shock. I have to tell my parents. No, it will become a fighting scene. Should I pretend I didn't see anything? But if I do that, those two will take advantage of my sister. I can't let that happen. In spite of all this, I decide I will firstly go speak to my husband. As I'm heading down the hall to the room he's in, I hear my name being called from the room from earlier on.
"Stop, sister!"
Is that me? The voice calling me sounds like my brother-in-law. I thought I was just hearing things, but I was sure I heard him calling me. Is he trying to stop me from telling people? I cannot do that. All these thoughts ran through my mind as I head back down the hall to where he is. Then from inside the room I hear,
"Sister, please, help me!"
"What? Help you?" I opened the door without fully understanding, and as I saw that was in front of me, I was dumbfounded. The two were still on top of each other, and my brother-in-law was saying,
"It hurts! It hurts!"
while crying, and the girl says, "It won't come out! Help!" I don't quite understand what was going on, but it seems like they were experiencing vaginismus. I've only seen this in movies, and I have never seen it happen in front of me while people were doing it. On top of that, it was on my sister's wedding day, and the people going through it was my brother-in-law and his mistress. It seems like they got the spasm when they were shocked that I entered the room. I decided to tell my husband as it was necessary for them to go to the hospital even with all this awkwardness. Of course, my husband was dumbfounded. He was snacking on something that was out in the room that he was waiting and dropped whatever it was that he was eating. My husband and I go to check on them, but they were still stuck together, so I went to call the staff who then called the ambulance. They got wrapped in a blanket and rushed to the hospital. Of course, everyone wanted to know why there was an ambulance at the venue, and people came up to us to ask us questions. Did someone faint? What happened? While thinking of how to answer this, my sister and mother, who were convincing my father to come pull up in a taxi, the groom is not here. He won't answer my sister or my mother calls. It's not like the staff can say what happened, as it is none of their business, so they all gave me a look. I didn't know what to do. I knew we couldn't be a disturbance to the guests nor the staff. It was all the groom's fault. I knew that by me saying this, the wedding will be called off, but the reality was that the groom was not here. And the girl he cheated on with was in the hospital. I made up my mind thinking that there was no other choice. Firstly, I spoke about what I saw to my family. Of course, their reaction was,
"You're lying! That's impossible! Today is the wedding day!"
My father, who loved my daughter to bits, turned red and was screaming. Is that really the truth? I showed the proof photo, and they became speechless. My sister was absolutely destroyed. I told the groom's parents the exact same thing. At first, as my parents did not believe me, after showing them the proof photo, they got on their knees to apologize.
"I'm so sorry for my son."
Profusely apologize. It was my sister whose wedding was ruined, not mine. I told them please go apologize to her as well as my father, who finally was willing to marry off his youngest daughter. I thought I would just leave the rest up to them, but my brother-in-law's little brother and his young relatives put their arms on my shoulders forcefully and started to mess around.
Wait a minute! Why the hell are you going around telling people the groom is cheating? Get on your knees and apologize to me, you stupid bitch!
Huh? What the hell? The stupid one is your brother. Cheating at the venue location on my dear little sister. Why do I have to get insulted for the stupid guy who got rushed to the hospital while still inside of another woman? I was absolutely fuming. I go to the place where all the guests were waiting and speak into the mic. I apologize to everyone who took time out of their busy schedule to come here today. Unfortunately, the wedding has been called off. Of course, the crowd started to mumble. What does this mean? Regardless, I continued to speak. Before the ceremony, the groom was cheating on the bride with another woman in the groom and bride's waiting room. The ambulance you saw earlier on had the two of them in it.
What the hell are you saying?
Here is a proof photo. For those who cannot believe it, please feel free to look at it on my phone. After seeing the photo, everyone was astonished. It's true! This person is saying the truth! After that, I showed the groom's brother and their stupid relatives the photo. Do you see it now? You said all that to me earlier on, but the real victim here is my sister. Be prepared, as I will be suing for a compensation fee. They were all absolutely shocked. After that, of course, the wedding was called off. The groom and the girl that he cheated with was treated at the hospital. The groom's parents were absolutely fuming with their son for ruining the whole wedding and went to the hospital to beat him up. I only found out later on, but it seems like the girl he was cheating on with was his ex-girlfriend. The ex heard that he was getting married and was trying to get back with him, and the groom couldn't resist and let the mood take over. I had a feeling, but it doesn't change the fact that he was just stupid. After that, my sister hired a lawyer and got back a good 70% of the wedding, and I'm taking 10-digit figures. The groom's side was also demanded for a compensation fee, which was about half of the wedding amount I just mentioned. They had to sell their house, and even then it was not enough. The father retired early and was finally able to gather the money with the severance pay. Since the groom's colleagues were at the wedding and they saw the photos, the groom decided to quit the company. But since it was such an impactful event, relating companies got the word and everyone was aware of it. He repeatedly got a new job and quit many times. Even though the wedding was called off, my sister could not get out of her room due to the reason for it being called off as well. My parents and I invited her places so she would get out the house and feel better, which she eventually did. The groom's parents found out that the brother had insulted me and they scolded him. If you hadn't said such things to her, it would not have ended so badly. I don't ever want to see the two of you again, ever! And cut them off out of their lives. I am sure my sister will have her chance for happiness again, but I wish the stupid groom and his brother a life of unhappiness.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.